So in 1 week, our boy Jigsaw, Tobin Bell, John Kramer, whatever you want to call him, will be back on the silver screen with Saw X. Last month, I did a video on what was the worst Saw movie, and today I am here to do a video on what is the best Saw movie. Hey, what's up everybody? Nick from the Lost River Drive-In here, and today I am here to discuss with you what I think is the best Saw movie in the Saw franchise and why. Leading up to the release of the hotly anticipated Saw X, Saw 10, Socks, whatever you want to call it, cannot freaking wait for this movie, and I felt what better time than now to tell you what I think is the best Saw movie in the series. But before we get there, I want to show you guys, I did a video on this when this came out over a year ago. Picked it up at my local Walmart. I believe it's a Walmart exclusive. It's the Saw 9 film collection set. This includes Jigsaw and Spiral. This came out not long after the complete collection was out with Jigsaw on Blu-ray, and everybody was like, son of a bitch. They came out with one to include Spiral, now I gotta buy it. I am everybody. That was me, and I did it. Look, it's a really good set. I love the art. It's got a slipcover. It's got all 9 movies in there. The transfers are good. There's like no special features on it whatsoever. But for what it was and housing all movies in a nice case like this, it was really, really cool. So if you guys have been unable to track this down, please pick it up because you're going to need to refresh yourself on some Saw before Socks comes out. Now, as far as the question posed of what is the greatest Saw film and why, see, that's a hard question. Because first and foremost, you think about the original film. The original film had something about it that you just didn't see a lot. A third act twist that caught everybody by surprise, that nobody was expecting. That when John Kramer stood up in that bathroom, everyone collectively shit their pants. You don't see that in movies nowadays. Very, very rarely does that happen. When that happened in Saw, it was phenomenal. And that movie immediately became an all-timer, even if just for that moment. Now, there's a fondness for a lot of people for Saw 2. A lot of people think it takes what Saw did, but it ups the ante, ups the gore, and therefore makes it a better movie. I am not one of those people, but I understand the love for Saw 2. There's also another fan favorite that is Saw 6. Saw 6, while having deep messaging about the incredibly corrupt healthcare system in America and the people at the top making the decisions that they do, while also having a really engaging game with tough decisions to make and cool traps, Saw 6 is one that people love. It's a lot of people's favorite sequel. I'm here to tell you that the movie that I have chosen is not only my favorite sequel, of course, but my favorite Saw movie, and I'm going to give you reasons why. I think, in my opinion, unequivocally, the best Saw film is Saw 3. And I will die on that hill. Literally. See, Saw 3 was the first film in the series to really explore the drama of it. It really explored the emotional. Saw tried to do it at times, but, due to lack of budget, some okay performances, and just some really haphazard editing at times, it didn't come across as well. Saw 2 really doesn't play into that. Saw 2 really is just your prototypical second film in a horror series, where it's like, we have to be bigger, we have to be louder, we have to be bloodier. Saw 3 was that movie that was like, we're going to bridge these 2 movies together. We're going to create this trilogy that when you watch them front to back, you're going to really feel fulfilled. Funny enough, because 7 movies came after 3. And we're really going to lean into the emotional side of this story. Now, there are great traps in Saw 3. Some of the more memorable traps in the series are in Saw 3, in my opinion. First of all, the judge down there in that vat of pig guts is absolutely horrific. If something like that ever happened to me, just take me out. Just take me out. I don't want it. Just kill me real quick. Do something else, Jigsaw. No, thank you. I don't want that. That trap sucks. The angel wing trap with Carrie is a really, really cool design, but it's especially terrible because it is an unwinnable game. Not only does she have to chemically burn her arm all the way up to the elbow to try to get a key to think that she's going to survive, she's not going to survive. This is hooked into her ribcage, and when that timer goes off, it's literally going to pull her insides apart. Like, that's awesome. That's incredible. But everybody remembers in this movie, the rack. The rack, which is referenced in the Saw 10 trailer of Jigsaw drawing the designs for the rack. That trap is brutal. Brutal. And I love every second of it. Now, obviously, it's a really hard scene to watch, especially with what's going on between Jeff and the guy in the trap. But it is you incurring that amount of pain for that amount of time and hoping that somebody can save you, just brutal. Just absolutely brutal. It's an incredible trap. But above all of that, above the inventive new traps and the horrible ways to die and the pain inflicted on these people, there is a story here that is really, really enthralling. You have Jeff and his wife, Lynn. Lynn is cheating on him because Jeff has spiraled into alcoholism and depression and anger after their son was hit by a car and killed. Any parent would spiral. Like any parent. I can't imagine what I would do. I cannot imagine. So they get put into this game that they think is all about them. Now, on one side, it is about Jeff learning to forgive, learning to let go. Can you grow as a person? Can you move on? Can you learn to accept that there are certain things you can't change? And sometimes people make mistakes, but it doesn't make them a bad person. Can you let go of the past? And that's a really, really hard thing for a parent that loses a child, I would imagine, to bring yourself to do that. And watching his growth throughout this movie is really, really something. But juxtaposed to Jigsaw and Amanda's game, really just Amanda's game, it was all a test for Amanda from the very beginning. He wanted Amanda to rise above it. He wanted Amanda to right her wrongs. He wanted her to truly become his protege, to understand the value of life, understand the gravity of taking a life, and appreciate her own life, and give people the opportunity to be redeemed. But Amanda couldn't, because Amanda was careless, she was reckless, she was overly emotional, and at the end of the day, she had a bloodlust. And, it was her downfall. So there are two incredibly poignant human stories going on while all of these incredibly inventive and memorable traps are going on. There's deep messaging here. This movie has everything, absolutely everything. Up until Saw 10, it is the longest Saw film, which I think really helps this film because a lot of these themes and these messages, they have to be explored. They really have to be fleshed out. You cannot just get us to buy in with an 80-minute runtime and expect us to truly care. I think this movie is long enough to care about these characters and their plight and to see them go through what they go through. And I think that the end with honestly, the total mindfuck of it's not over. Like, you thought this was the end of a trilogy. Like, no, the game's just beginning. Like, that's awesome. But it's also awesome when it's just like, this was your test, Amanda, and you failed. And here's why. So much about this movie is incredible. I don't think another Saw movie could do this. Become my favorite Saw film. Unless it just heavily plays on incredible gore and traps, but also very just interesting human storylines and drama. You would have to do better than Saw 3 did. And I guess it's possible, but as of right now, in my opinion, the best Saw film, hands down, is Saw 3. I'll die on that hill, and if you guys want to come with me, let's drink the Kool-Aid together. I want to know down below what you guys think. What is the best Saw film and why? Now, obviously, best is the operative word here because it's really your favorite, but I'd love to hear what your favorite Saw film is and why. And hopefully it's Saw 3, but if it's not, let me hear you out. Please discuss that down below in the comments section. Leave a like on this video. Subscribe to my channel if you haven't already. This is Nick at the Lost River Drive-In, and I am pulling out.